Hi there. Today is Friday, January 26th, 2018, and it is day 22 of my 365-day movement challenge. I didn't post a video yesterday, and that's mainly because nothing really profound happened. I didn't have anything super revelatory in terms of the movement. It didn't really bring anything up for me, I guess. So I wasn't really sure what to talk about except to say like, hey, I did my yoga. So again, I'm trying to figure out the best process for this and for these videos. So thank you for bearing with me while I do that. I did get down on my mat yesterday at the end of my day. I did day 13 of yoga with Adriene, which was great. It was all bendy and twisty and, stand on one leg and wrap the other leg around it while you twist your arms. There's probably a really cool, yogic word for that, but I don't know it. I just call it the bendy twisty. That works for me. And I'm about to get down on my mat tonight. It's a little bit late. My family and I we took my daughter actually to see one of her dad's shows at the Brody Theater. It was really great. The show was awesome, and she is such a good little audience member. She's been an audience member since she was born, so she's pretty used to it. But what is coming up for me today is something pretty cool. It feels like this is becoming pretty routine. And early on, I was pretty frustrated with myself that things weren't consistent, that I wasn't being consistent. And I had a friend post either on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page, just keep doing it and the consistency will come. And I can see it, and I'm starting to feel it. So I think not all of these videos are going to have something that I'm like, wow, I discovered this amazing thing about life and about myself through this movement. I think I'm hoping at least that some of what's going to happen is it's really going to become routine. It's going to become part of my life in a way that just feels really good. And so now, even when I don't want to get down on the mat, or I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, I go. I didn't go this morning, but I'm going tomorrow morning. I'm booked in the 9 a.m. class. And last week, I was really upset with myself because, I went on a Monday morning. I got up really early, and I was like, yeah, I got up and I did it, and I cried at the gym, but I did it. And then I didn't go again until, God, I don't even know, I think Tuesday or something. I missed almost a whole week. Now I got down on my mat. I did all my movement. I went on a bike ride. I did all these things, but I was really mad at myself. And then I looked back at last week, and I had, I went down to Salem and watched a theater show that a friend of mine directed, and I didn't get home till midnight. The following night I had a date with a girlfriend of mine, and, I was living my life. And that happened to mean that there were some late nights. And so when I got down on myself about consistency, I tried to remind myself that it's okay. I was still being consistent in in this other part of my goals and in my life. I was still doing my movement. I was doing what I could, where I could, with what I had in that moment. And to get up early at 5:30 in the morning and go to the gym after I've been up, doing lesson plans, what I need is rest. I need sleep. And if I've been up and I've been working, then I got to do the best I can with what I got, which might just be a yoga mat and a YouTube video. Thank God for yoga with Adriene. Thank God for a small person in my life who keeps me moving. And for the fact that I get to walk to work and, things like that. So what's really nice to see now is that it does feel like it's becoming more consistent. It's not even a question that no matter what, I'm still going to get down on my mat and do my yoga, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym. Even if I miss this 1 week, or, I'll still get back to it. I've been doing it since July. And the difference that I feel and see in my body is noticeable. It's totally different. I love the feeling of doing yoga before bed, because then I've committed to my goal. I've achieved my goal. And I feel so good having focused on my breath, even if it's like a core power yoga thing that I do in my yoga with Adriene, go to bed and I notice how good my body feels. And a lot of times before I started taking movement seriously and taking my health seriously, I would lay down in bed, and that would be the first time for the day that the pain really hit me. I have lower back pain. I've had it for so long, and I would lay down in bed and be like, oh God, it would just hit me all of a sudden, because you walk around in chronic pain and you just eventually get used to it. I just got used to it. And the only way that I noticed it was in my attitude toward myself and toward life. But I wouldn't actually notice the physical pain until I laid down in bed. And now, if I do yoga before bed, I lay down in bed and go like, ooh, this feels so good. And my back is all stretched out, and it's just a great way to go to sleep. It also means that, if I did have to stay up doing some work, I don't have to get up super early. I can do it before bed. 30 minutes before bed is easier than getting up. My gym training session is an hour. Well, it's, 15 minutes to get there and back. And, by the time I get dressed in my gym clothes and all of that, like it's an hour and a half at least, if not more, an hour and 45 minutes. And that's a lot bigger of a commitment, and you're getting up earlier and all of that. So even tonight, I went to a show and I'm still going to get down on my mat. It's not even a question right now. So I'm enjoying watching it become consistent. Even if it's not the same schedule every day or every week, it's becoming a consistent routine. And so I'm here on day 22. This is my day 21-22 video. Saying that I'm excited to see that it's becoming consistent. And so I think a lot of challenges are like 30 days to a new routine. And I think it probably does take at least 30 or 60 or 90 days, depending on the change that you want to make. So I'm really curious about what things are going to look like at 365 days, on that 365th day. And I'm starting to think about, what is the reward, or is there a reward? My therapist asked me that at one point. She was like, what are you doing to reward yourself? And I was like, well, it's interesting, because in years past, my reward would have been something sort of like, I'm going to have a second shot, maybe a third shot of bourbon, because it's delicious. Man, bourbon is delicious. Or I'm going to stay up and I'm going to watch couple of episodes of this thing, and I still struggle with that, as you've seen in my earlier videos. But now my rewards for myself are like, I'm gonna read a book for 30 minutes that's just a book that I want to read, which seems silly, right? I'm always reading, but I'm often reading for information. I want information, and it usually has something to do with my job or one of my hobbies or things like that. But sometimes I'll just sit down and read. I'll pull a book off the shelf that maybe I haven't read in years and just sit down and read. And sometimes I even allow myself to finish that book. Or I will allow myself to, if I can find the time and it works out in my schedule with my daughter and my family, maybe I'll take a 30-minute nap and just restore. Maybe I'll make myself a delicious smoothie. And as I say that, I hear how square it sounds, but it never occurred to me that a reward for myself could and maybe even should be a nice thing, a good thing. It was always sort of a sneaky thing that I would take for myself that ends up being something sort of worse in the long run. And so I'm learning to replace those habits with good things. So it'll be interesting to see that's what I'm doing along the way. I don't know what day 366 is going to look like of this. What I do know is that it's never going to be done. That's the interesting part, is that this isn't okay, I'll do this for this period of time and then, move on to the next thing. I certainly will shift and change. I don't know that it'll look like this exact thing at day 366, but I hope that it's moving up and not moving on. I hope that it means that I'm able to increase my weight at the gym, and that I'm able to run longer, and that you know, yoga is a more routine practice for me, and that I remember to dance daily if possible, because dancing is amazing. So those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe. Ryan, I hope I got the format of this video right this time. I know that my videos are terrible in terms of their format. I'm trying. I'm learning a little bit by little bit as I go. I'm so sorry. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you for still watching and being my friend and loving me anyway. I love you. My dear friend Ryan is always like, oh my God, your videos. And he's right. They're terrible. But for those of you watching, thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe if you like what you see. And most importantly, be good to yourself today. Do something for you, something that feeds you and makes you feel amazing. You deserve it. I love you. See ya.